You are using the chat quite well, saying hello, hello, hi, hi. So here's a question to you all. When someone pings you on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn and just says hi, do you respond? Yes, no. Yes, do you respond? No. Okay. No, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 yes. Okay. No, some of them, no. Hello, everyone. Yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here is, if there's a message after hello, then yes. Okay. Okay, Malti says, yes, depends. Depends. Okay, Sneha Palaki is talking like a tester. It's like, depends. I can't definitely be a yes or a no. And then, okay, definitely yes. Fabulous. Okay. So here is what I do. I don't respond to the hi messages. If you leave that message long enough, then they will, if there's a real need, they will ping you, or they will take time, and then they will realize that you've not responded, and then they'll put in, hey, I'm asking this question to you. So that's the way I save a lot of my time not responding to just the hi message, because I don't know what they want to say. Once you say hi, they might say, I don't like you. Right? Why do you even want to reply and get that over, right? So let's get started off. And we have a good number of people in here. Thank you and welcome to you all. It's really exciting for me to talk about an important topic to an audience that I really, really, really care about. I care so much for the life of testers. And when I used to work as a tester, and I realized that the whole of the company environment is not necessarily built keeping the testers in mind. It was also one of the motivating reasons for me to actually start Moolya. So from that perspective, for me, my life is dedicated towards understanding, learning, and caring, and building something relevant and useful and good for testers. So with that, I want to begin with a couple of questions, and I would love to. There are a few people who have registered and who have actually come into Zoom. I believe there are also a bunch of other people who are watching this live stream on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm asking you people a question who are inside the Zoom call, and your responses, I'm going to read out some of them so that people watching on YouTube don't miss those questions out and things like that. So so the first question I have for you is, what does being an employee mean? Who is an employee? Who is an employee? Who is an employee? We all are employees, but who is an employee? What, according to you, is this is the meaning of this word employee? A caretaker of his company. Okay. Okay. Abbas says, caretaker of his company, works towards the organization goal. Okay. Who contribute to the company growth. Okay. 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 Any more thoughts coming in? Who serve employers. Okay. Okay, what else? What else? Adds value to the company, contributes to project, but job is not career. Okay, employed to accomplish a task. Anusha Prakash says, employed to accomplish a task. The one who does the job for the employers, who serve customers as well as company. Srimant says, who serve. Well, we have too many people to take care of. And then, Brijesh adds saying an employee is someone who offers his or her services towards the growth of the company. Okay, great. Great, great. Okay, self-update. Okay, build the company. So, so I think you all generally understand that an employee is a person who works towards a certain vision, okay, mission, or a project goal that is required, to be accomplished. And the employees come in and enable that for the company in exchange of their time and money, right? In exchange of your time. So as an employee, what you're doing with any company is you're exchanging your time, your most valuable time. Now, whatever your compensation is, have you done, what's your per hour dollar rate? Right? Have you ever done that in your life so far? Like, you're exchanging, let's say, 8 hours a day to a company, and you have a package of X or a Y. What does that translate to a per hour rate, according to you? Have you ever done that calculation? You can just say yes or a no. Yes, done that. Okay, no. Okay, someone said, okay, no, never done that. Yes, no, yes, no. So it's a mix of yes and a no. Not done per hour, but per day. Okay, okay, per day is also fine. No, no, no. Okay. So why am I asking this question? Is not because of is not because for you to know what exactly are you paid per hour. It's for you to know that your time is extremely valuable for you, and you have to be and you are agreeing to exchange that valuable time of your life for achieving an objective in exchange of many things, right? So as a fresher, what was your only goal? A fresh person out of college, what was your only goal in your mind? You had to get a job. And you didn't know about the culture of the company. You didn't know about a whole lot of things. I mean, of course, at a prima facie, what can we expect a fresher to know about, culture of a company, when there are many founders themselves don't understand what culture of a company means? Right? And we are expecting junior folks to know about the company culture and things like that. So we go through different, like a butterfly, like how it grows from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Our journey as an employee, is from like a small larvae to a caterpillar to growing wings and then starting to fly and all of that stuff. Now, you all are in this evolution. We all. I'm not excluding myself, okay, from you. We all are in this evolution, and in this evolution, we are making decisions based on several things that we are getting exposed to, several aspects that we are getting exposed to, and I still want to go back and ask a few fundamental questions, okay, before moving to some of the what's the decisions part of it. What does growth mean to you? What does growth in a career mean to you? You can just you can just actually type in. I'm going to be patiently reading some of them. And I want to understand, what is your understanding, okay, before I can share my understanding. So shout out to saying upskilling along the current trend, to upskill myself, constantly upgrade, learn tech and earn. That is something, learn new every day. Okay, end of the day, technically you are sound enough, better version of yourself, dealing with work that is challenging without being burnt out. So we have good, we have both, similar responses and a varied kind of responses. We have, should always be learning something. Okay, financial freedom. Someone said financial freedom. Okay, grow and let others grow. Okay, upgrading knowledge and contributing for companies' growth, leadership, learning, development opportunities. Okay, I want to pause you all for a moment. These are very generic terms. These are very generic terms. What do they really mean? So what does financial freedom mean? Like, let me go to Rupsha. Okay, Rupsha said financial freedom. Now, for different people, there is different, financial freedom. If you're really looking at, financial freedom, then the path that you may want to take is very different. So for us, okay, for all of us, right? We have different requirements of money. For me, after a while, I do like money. It's important. It's important for my business. It's important for my people inside my company and all of that stuff. I, totally respect that. But the number that I have in my mind for my financial freedom and the number that you have for your mind, for your life, okay, might be very different. Now, then we talk about learning. Learning, there is conscious learning and there is, subconscious learning. You are educated enough. You're educated enough to learn from anything that you want to learn. And I want to stress on this topic of learning. Look, I think a lot of us have been confused that becoming aware is learning.
It's 5:15.
Okay, I want to repeat that. Okay, a lot of us are confused that becoming aware is learning. Becoming aware and being able to implement something are two different things altogether. Okay, for example, I'm going to take an Indian movie as an example. I'm not sure if there are, people from outside of India, but I'm hoping that you all have watched this movie, Three Idiots, right? And what did we all learn from that movie, right? We all learned to chase excellence. And once you chase excellence, then, money will follow you. Really? Are we all chasing excellence and waiting for money to follow us? It's a long game. It's a long game. A lot of us don't want to play the long game, right? So while we learn all of these things from the movies, our ability to implement it is the problem. So for all of your problems, right? For all problems you might be facing in your life, if you go to a friend and say, hey man, I'm super stressed about, this thing that happened in the office. No, your friend will absolute cool say, okay, this is what you should have done, at that time. But the same friend who goes through the same situation is going to struggle the same way, or maybe much more than what you did. Okay, because giving an advice to someone and following it, okay, ourselves when the situation comes, are two different things. So for that reason, the majority of the people that I have seen, discovered in my life, are confused about what learning is. Your brain has the capacity to continuously learn, even though you don't consciously attempt, even if you don't consciously attempt, right? Okay, for example, there is so much of chaos in the projects. If you just sit and observe the way people are working, you will understand that they're wasting a lot of time in a lot of different ways, right? Now, You all might be obsessed to WhatsApp. How many of you get distracted when you get a notification while you're working? You can say yes or no. You get, if you get, distracted, you can say yes. If you don't get distracted, you can say no. Okay, so there's yes, no, yes, 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 yes. I keep most notification turned off. No, yes, 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 yes. Okay, now, okay, hold on. Thank you for responding. If you really want to learn, learning is a focused activity. But the way our work is actually structured is there are Slack notifications, there are WhatsApp notifications, there are email notifications, there are maybe Jira ticket notifications. So we are flooded with notifications, we are flooded with interruption, we are flooded with lack of focus. So what do we mean by learning? Okay, one. Okay, the second thing which I want to talk about is um, about some of you mentioned about constantly learning to keep ourselves matching to the trend of this world. Okay, so I think okay, this is me and I could be wrong. Okay, just because you're attending my webinar, I'm not going to assume that that I know everything and that you don't know. We all are on the same plane. We just have complementary experiences. Okay, that's all. Okay, now, the way the technology is actually shaping up, we didn't even hear the word Web3 till 3 months ago. Now the whole of internet is flooded with Web3 technology. I think the people that I have seen who are constantly trying to find themselves, if they're matching to the trend of the world, there is some level of a fear that is put into our mind that we might be left behind if we don't upgrade ourselves. Okay, is that true? Do you see yourself or your colleagues are in a fear that you might be left behind if you're not working on some of the latest technologies? Yes, somebody mentioned about the imposter syndrome and a relevant thing. Yes, yes. So people are saying yes. Okay, certainly, 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 certainly. Okay, now here is a question for all of you who are on the Zoom or are watching on YouTube or wherever, right? Do you also agree that learning the foundation and having a really strong foundation matters quite a lot? Yes. Okay. Okay. So you also agree about it. Now, I have seen people spend more time learning new tools and they don't actively spend time going back to the foundation and learning the foundation again and again, or rediscovering the foundation. How often, if you are a tester, how often should you go and strengthen your foundation? How often should you be going back and saying, let me just actually discover what is testing? See, when I was fresh out of college, somebody told me testing is verification. Testing is checking whether the requirements are met by the product. But hey, I am right now a tester. I can see that there are no requirements. There are no requirement documents in my company. And I've tested so many things without requirement. So all of the definition that I have gone by, or whatever I believed is testing, is no longer testing. So I think it's now I want you all to self-reflect and think about it, and saying that think about it and say, how often have you gone back and strengthened your foundation? You certainly want to learn new technologies. Okay, to me, here is what I think, right? You all so if you have studied some bit of computer science, you would have discovered the OSI 7-layer communication, okay, model. So this becomes the foundation for actually building any protocol stack. Now, if you don't learn this protocol, the base protocol stack, then it becomes really, really difficult for you to be able to learn any new systems. So there are these things about general systems thinking that we totally miss about, right? I am going to go into the career aspect of it, but I have a few questions to just run through so that we set the foundation, okay, before we proceed. So we looked at what do we understand about being an employee? What do we understand about growth? And here is another question, for you all. What are you paid for? What are you paid for? You're paid for your time, okay? Are you paid for your time? Are you paid for this or skills? Okay, now people are saying time and skills. Are you paid for your knowledge, Sharat, or are you paid for your ability to bring the knowledge to your project? Time, skills, and work. Time, skills, and effort. Time, skills, and effort. Okay. Somebody mentioned about effort. Okay, that's good. Skills and effort. Okay, skills and effort. Okay, skills and effort. For my service, attitude, and skills. Okay, fabulous. Okay, paid for learning. Wow. Okay, which company is that? I want to join. Okay, Vinod says we are paid for learning. I certainly wanted to make this announcement in Moolya, a few years ago that we are just paying you for learning, and maybe some people on this call will run away. Paid for learning, absolutely. But here's a question to you, Vinod. Why should somebody pay you for learning? Like, what do they get out of it? Okay, you can answer that. Bridget says, I'm paid for my time, skills, and application of my knowledge. Okay, fabulous. So you're paid for your time. And do you all work hard? You all work super hard, right? Okay, you all work hard. Okay, somebody mentioned about value. Okay, fabulous. So here's the thing, right? There are so many people in this world who work more harder than us. Like, they do real hard work. Do you all agree that there are people who do real physical, mentally intense work? Like, it's absolutely complex. There are people who do much more harder work than us. Yes, the laborers, physical laborers, they do the real hard work, where at the end of the day, their body is like super tired, right? How much are they really paid? Are they paid more than us? Because they paid pennies, they paid very less, no matter which country, right? No matter which country, they're paid very less. So the question to you is, are you really paid for hard work? Are you really paid for hard work? No? Okay, Mahati says no. Oh, okay, somebody mentioned about smart work. Okay, and then everybody picked up smart work. No, we're paid for smart work. No, we're paid for smart work. But here's a question again, okay, that goes back to you all testers who are on this call. Have you had at least one or two releases in your life where you didn't need to work hard a few days before the release? Okay, we have a few people who said yes, and some people who said no, and some who said never. They paid for yes. Okay, great. There are times where you have to work hard. There are some major releases you have to work hard, which means you have to extend your time. So you're essentially, your definition of working hard is about extending the time. Okay, yes or no? Right? So it's not a physical hard work that you're doing. It's more of, so what do you mean by hard work is instead of working 8 hours, I am working 15 hours. That's hard work for you. Why is it hard work for you? Okay, because if you work for 15 hours, your ability to learn, your ability to solve problems diminishes quite a lot. And it becomes harder for you to solve. It becomes harder for you to focus. It becomes harder for you to contribute and build value and all of that stuff. Great. Okay, so we're discovering some of the fundamentals. Now, so we've looked at what does being an employee mean? What does growth mean? And now I'm going to begin with this question about, is making decisions in career an easy thing or a hard thing for you? Hardest, hard, very hard, hard. Okay, depends, harder, easy, but hard, tough. Okay, hard thing if you don't have a clarity. Okay, good. Hard to medium. Okay, somebody says this is hard to medium. Okay, stick to an organization. Okay, great. Okay, and hard. So most of you are saying it's hard, or one person says it's hard to medium. Why is it hard? What makes it hard? The direction. Okay, depends if you know yourself. Okay. We're worried of consequences. Absolutely. The lack of people to help, we're settled down, no clarity, competition, too many offers, uncertainty. If we never know whatever is already written, rat race. Okay, Jaspreet says rat race. We have to assess a lot of parameters before taking a decision. Lack of confidence, no jobs in the relevant field, too many options, lack of vision for self. Okay, so I think in summary, what we are saying, I think in what we are saying is, we are afraid of the consequences of making a decision. We are afraid of failing. We are afraid of going wrong with the decision. So for example, if you have 2 offers and you pick up one offer and you go there and fail, you will always feel like, oh my God, I should have taken the other one. Oh, yes or no? Right? This is a classic. Oh, this is classic. Okay, for some. Okay, Ritu says no. Okay, great. So, okay, this is always harder. Now, why do you think people have got into this, state that they can't make a decision? The reason why a lot of people can't make a decision is that they always want to win. They always want to win. And they don't want to be a failure. They don't want to be seen as a failure. They don't want to be a failure. They don't want to be seen as a failure and all of that stuff. The number one rule for long-term learning is to be as comfortable as possible with failure. There is no single person you have seen succeeded in a big way unless they absorbed failure. Okay, for example, I will tell you this. Elon Musk lost about $140 billion worth of value in Tesla over the last few days. $140 billion. Do you think he's bothered? I mean, he's bothered. Do you think? But do you think he's really worried about it? He's going to make another 140 billion in just the next few days. That's the reason why he's not bothered. The reason he's not bothered is they know how to course correct. So the first and foremost thing for you to know about yourself, right? A lot of people have been talking about it in a very spiritual way, to know yourself, is that your decisions can go wrong. It's okay for decisions to go wrong. But as long as you know how to course correct it, you are always going to be good. In Moolya, it's not like we have got 100% project success, okay, with everything. There are a number of things that goes wrong. But one great thing that I have seen across the years in the company that I founded is that our people course correct really very well. So we have pulled out from, like, where sometimes, okay, somebody thought, okay, this is going down south, to getting a great appreciation, saying this is the best recovery that we have seen in our life. So it's important for you to learn how to recover from the failure, because you don't have that muscle built into you. Because you don't have that muscle built into you, you are largely afraid to make certain decisions of, oh my god, okay, what if this happens, what if that happens, what if this happens. Okay, the second thing, we all know, again, I'm going to go back to some of the movies that you might have watched. We all agree that we should not be comparing, and we all have our own journey, but we absolutely look at each other to determine what our worth is. And let me tell you this to you. Your worth can't be put into a dollar value. Your worth can't be put into a dollar value. Your worth is far more than dollar value. So it's very important for you to not equate your worth to what a company can pay you. Okay, because your worth might be far more than what the company can afford to pay you, or what any company can afford to pay you, right? So it's important for you to not equate your worth to the money, to your title, or to anything. Now, here's another thing about making decisions in terms of the career, right? Do people quit if during appraisal they are told you have not done a good job? Okay, yes or no? Irrespective of whatever hike the company says. Okay, for example, let's say, okay, a company says, oh, you've done a pathetic job, okay, but here is 100% hike. Okay, would the person want to stay? No, absolutely not. 100% not, right? So it is absolutely not the money. It is a holistic growth. Now, some of it you are trying to equate as learning. Okay, but I am surprised none of you mentioned about the word experience. Your experience matters quite a lot. Okay, do you know something? If you've been stressed for 10 days, your face looks in a very different way than how it looks if you have had a 10-day vacation in Maldives or Goa or Pondicherry or any other place that you like, right? So there is something called the experience. You all pay extra money for the experience. You know that your mom makes great chai, great coffee at home, great food at home, but you go to a restaurant and sit and talk to your friends with a certain ambience for an experience. So this experience is also an equally important aspect to understand about growth. And you want to constantly enhance this experience. So there are so many things. And I want to show, what I want to do is I want to share my screen. I want to share my screen and show you something very important. So here are the multiple tabs that I'm running. But for now, I want you all to see this beautiful thing, second order thinking. And I'd like you to study about the second order thinking, but to simplify it, okay, here is what it is, right? In the second order thinking, you are thinking about the consequences. You are consciously thinking about the consequences. You are deliberately thinking about the consequences. So the difference between what you said about what can happen and all of that stuff, right? So the difference between what you said about why people are afraid to make decisions in the career, that is driven out of fear. It's not a conscious thought process. Fear can make you think about 10 things that can go wrong. That is not second order thinking. A second order thinking is where you deliberately think about the consequences. Okay, think about the things that can go wrong and yet make a decision. When you are making a decision, knowing that it has a 60% failure rate or a 70% failure rate, you will be a lot more calm to go through the failure, even if you have to go through the failure. Right? But if you enter something without the second order thinking, and you think that this is just going to turn out fabulous, and then you face a failure, you're shit scared in life. You are absolutely panicking. You're saying, oh my God, what did I do to myself? And you go into this guilt mode, which successfully the schools and colleges and some of our family upbringing has brought into us, about, oh my God, look at me. I'm not there. I'm not from here. I'm not doing this. She has that, he has this, I don't have that. All of this is driven by our fear and by insecurity. So it's very important for you in the journey of discovering the self is to be able to not have that fear and insecurity, and ask the same questions that fear and insecurity would have asked in a second order thinking way. So I asked you about the dollar value for your time, right? Okay, let me tell you the dollar value beyond what you would have calculated. You all have hobbies, you all have interests, you all have a family. Now, the time that you're spending for a company is away from all of these things that you really want to do in life, right? So once you achieve, financial freedom, okay, here is what it is. If you achieve your super financial freedom, okay, let's say I'm going to transfer 100 crores to your account. Well, I wish I have that, and I will have that someday, but I hope I will, transfer the 100 crores, or let's say $20 million to your account. What will you do? If you're still going to work as a tester, then that's your passion. Okay, then that's your passion. You are absolutely free to enjoy that. Okay, but let's say you're not going to be a tester if you have a $20 million in your bank account. Then that means you are exchanging not just your current, time, the visible time. You are exchanging your time away from family. You're exchanging your time away from reading a book that you will enjoy. You're exchanging time away from improving your own health. So there is always an indirect cost. There is always an indirect cost. Most of you are worried about indirect things that can happen, because the direct things you can see. Okay, for example, I will tell you this, right? This is true. This is true for everybody, including me in this world, right? There's a CTC that company gives. All right, the CTC that company gives. You look at CTC, and then you look at the take home. It's a world of difference. It's a world of difference, right? So the CTC is like is like your direct thing. Oh, I have a big package, all right? And there is tax, there is PF, there is that deduction, there is this deduction, and all of that stuff. And by the time you get your take home, it looks like, wait, really, what's my CTC, and how did I get this? I've done the classic mistake of I did a divided by 12, and I thought I'm going to get at least X or Y. And like you, because I have been an employee myself in several companies, and I've understood, like, man, that's not how it works. And once even I said, I don't want a certain hike beyond a point, because I would move into a more tax slab. So we are only looking at the direct impact, and we are not looking at the indirect impact when we are making a lot of decisions in our lives. So it's very, very, very critical for us to start realizing that there are indirect things and think about it, deliberately. Okay, now again, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you through a presentation I've done in one of the test tribe conferences. I did this at a tribal conference, and this is the business value of testing and why this is so damn relevant, to you, for you to understand what your value is. And this helps you understand the decisions that you may want to make and all of that stuff, right? So what's the business value? Is there a business value for testing? Okay. I'm going to show, is your, testing adding revenue or profit, to the company? If your testing is not adding revenue or profit to the company, or if it is adding, but you don't know about it because it's indirectly adding, you will absolutely not know the impact of your work. The reason why some people are paid a lot of money is because of the impact, that they contribute. So if you're really keen about, I will tell you this, if you're really keen about making a lot of money, it's important for you to focus on impact and not your hard work, not about learning the new Web3 skill that is there in the market. Yes, that is exciting. See, learn that if you love solving problems, that helps solving problems. If there's a new tool in the market that helps you solve problems, but don't equate that because I learned this tool, because I moved from manual to automation, because I do this. No. People are not paying you for doing that. People are paying you for the impact that you're creating. So it's important for you to look at your own impact and all of that stuff. And I give this pilot and airplane analogy, right? So I'm sure you all have done travel on a plane. The plane lands and you all get out and you give one casual smile to the pilot, just in case if the door is open. Otherwise, you don't even care who the pilot is. But in case the pilot midair, okay, tells the passenger that brace for impact, there is a bird hit, there is some emergency, and you all are like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, this is, I don't want this to happen to you, but I'm just saying that's what I've seen in movies and other stuff, right? And then the pilot safely lands the plane. And then you all clap. Wow, you saved my life. Every pilot saved your life. Every pilot saved your life. You didn't clap. You only clapped. You only appreciated the pilot who first told you that you are in danger, then told you that you are safe. This is about impact. If you are doing work where people can understand and see your impact, you will get a phenomenal recognition. You will get a phenomenal growth out of it. And for you also, you have to chase impact. Okay, but if it's an everyday affair, then okay, there is hardly a recognition, and even the occasional recognition, okay, wouldn't actually matter. And the tester job is mostly like this. So testing is an invisible value for business. So given a choice between developers and testers, a lot of companies still focus on the developers. Now, I'm not saying the whole world is like that. Now, I'm not saying that but in my company testers and developers are equal. Yes, they are all equal, but if they have to cut costs, they look at, we can still do without unit testing, we can still do without integration testing, because that's how a lot of companies are already doing. So I'm not saying testers, I'm saying they cut testing already. So how much value will you put to something that is invisible? Okay, as I mentioned about the airplane analogy, part of it, right? How much value will you put to something that's invisible? When the pilot becomes visible to you, of saying, hey, look, this flight is in danger, and then saves you, the value of the pilot enhances so much, right? Now, I'm not saying you should necessarily do that, but I'm saying there are, that happens once in a while, okay, to all of us. But how do we know what's really creating impact, right? So for me, I see that there are 3 steps of growth inside, testing. Okay, find bugs, which is where a lot of people are stuck to. Okay, and then there is, okay, prevent bugs plus find bugs, which is where very few people are there. Okay, and then the other thing is help people, okay, to test. Now, this is certainly a leadership role, okay, that I'm actually talking about. But what's the dollar value for these roles? Okay, and this is what, testers think. Whatever they're doing, they think that it's, oh, this is a huge dollar value. Look at other company, they're paying so much. So there must be this value, right? Now, okay, here is what the reality is. The reality is, okay, this is the dollar value. And in that dollar value, you get a subset of that, what's a dollar value. And okay, this is what the reality is. Now, for me, having been a consultant, having done business, having done a whole lot of stuff, I've, figured this out, and I want to share this with you so that you get to reality. It's good to get to reality so that you understand where you stand, and you start focusing on impact, right? So who values testing? Okay, engineering and the product. Okay, how much do they value it? Does, testing feature in the top 3 priorities of a CTO? The CTO is worried about a bunch of things, and it's not the CTO's problem, okay, completely. The culture is the CTO's problem, and the testing culture is a subset of the whole, engineering, what's a culture. Go look at any of the CTO, okay, JDs, you won't see, testing and automation featured in there, okay, as far as I know. And even if it's a small mention, but in most of the things that I've seen, it's not mentioned. Okay, is it in the top 3 priorities of a product owner? No, it's also not in the top 3 of the product owner, as far as I can tell you. So, okay, does, testing feature in the top 3 priorities of a VP engineering? Yes, okay, sometimes. But who? So testing features in the top 3 priorities of those who test, and those who test. And when I say those who test, I don't just mean testers. I mean, there are passionate, developers who understand the value of, testing. There are a lot of engineers who really appreciate the value of, testing. And, to them, okay, it's what values. Okay, but I want to move a little bit more, okay, onto this one. So no company attributes their failure to poor testing, although the public says so. Although we all tweet saying that if we testers ourselves, if we find a product is not working well, we just say, oh, this should have been tested well. Look, I tested it really well, but still they decided to push it out. We know that, but we still say it should have been tested well. So we have a fundamental misunderstanding about, testing itself, right? Okay. Okay. Now I want to take you through this. Okay. This year marks, okay, Micah says, this year marks 10 years in testing for me. I'm still explaining the basic concepts to people over and over again, like a broken record. No, testing doesn't give guarantee. No, testing cannot be complete, nor can be completely automated. So this is a pandemic that's been there in our industry for a long time, that a lot of people still don't understand, testing. And here we are, okay, trying to help them, succeed. So, so I'm gonna tell you about secret of successful people in the testing space. Okay, this is I'm looking at super successful people in a variety of, okay, contexts of those who have been able to do it. Okay, I'm sure you know her. Okay, and if you don't know her, you should look out. You should search and look at the contribution, that she has done. She's a developer. She has been able to transition from a tester to a developer evangelist. And this is what I call as, and these slides are behaving in a very weird way. And this is what I call as the as the escape velocity. She started focusing on impact. She started focusing on impact. As an evangelist, she is focused on how many developers' life do I impact? Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I consider her super successful. Jason Arbon is another person who was the test manager in Google, who was an SDET, and then he said, "Look, I have to take this big step in my life, and I have to build a product of my own, which is test.ai, which got funded by Google for the kind of background that he built, and he achieved this escape velocity." Okay, Narayan Raman, as well. He was a developer in ThoughtWorks, right? And he still is a developer, but he got passionate to build Sahi, through which he launched his own company, and he has achieved the escape velocity. And for him, there is a holistic growth. There is a leadership growth. There's a financial growth. And how is he getting it? Is because Sahi is used across many organizations, and that's how he's getting it. Okay, right? So what can we all learn from these super successful people? First is about focusing on impact. They didn't chase tools. Okay, Narayan Raman didn't say, "Oh, look, Selenium is the very exciting thing that the whole world is doing." Okay, as a matter of fact, Narayan Raman went and challenged Selenium, and he has put out a post comparing Selenium and Sahi. But I'll tell you why Selenium is far more popular than Sahi, although Sahi solves a lot of problems that Selenium is actually still struggling to solve, is because a lot of people when they put Selenium in their profile, their number of job opportunities increases as compared to let's say Sahi. But even that gets it. But people want to make choices where it's mass choices. So most of you who have made choices in life are actually choices that everyone else will do in your position. And that's the reason why most of us have become like everyone else. Only if we make decisions that others can't do, won't do, we will be able to do it. So people like Narayan Raman are great examples. And what did these people do to achieve this escape velocity? So one common trait, as I told you, right? They all focused on impact. So if you go to Jason Arbon, Jason Arbon did not say that, there is more money in building a company. No. He said, "Look, I have been in Google, I've been in Applause, I have seen the market, and this is where the market is failing. This is the missing product in the market." And that's how he started test.ai along with his other partners. So we all need to focus on impact. Okay, now I want to ask you this question. Have you picked up any role in your life purely based on the impact that you can create? Okay, based on the impact that you can create. So I think this is the big missing piece in a lot of people's decision making. The word impact never features when comparing two job offers. The word impact never features when looking at the two CTCs. The word impact, the one thing that focuses, that you're focused on is you yourself. Now here is a question I'm asking to a lot of people, and this is a pandemic. According to me, we are dealing not just with the coronavirus pandemic, but we're dealing with multiple pandemics. But we've gotten so used to, we've built this herd immunity for a lot of problems that we are facing. Okay, and one of that is this. Now, we all want to grow to be leaders. Leadership is about focusing on others, but we are so focused on ourselves. We are so worried about ourselves. We are so worried about what will happen to us. We're so worried about, oh my God, I did more hard work than my colleague, but my colleague is succeeding more than me. I've heard this from many people, many people. Now, the number one trait of leadership is that you have to let others win. You have to support others win. It's not just you have to let others win. You have to support others to win. That thought process won't come as long as you're focused just on yourself. Now, yes, you need your basics to be taken care of. Absolutely. But leadership is about putting others ahead of you in many contexts, and knowing when to put when to put others ahead of you and when to put yourself ahead of others. So if there is a challenge, if there is a problem, and you want to demonstrate to the team, you want to lead the team where there is a dangerous zone, then you go in the front. If you want to help others to succeed, you help them, okay, prevent the dangers, you give them the right opportunities to fail safe, you give them. So leadership, we all want to grow as leaders, we all want to call ourselves leaders, some of us might have title as leaders, but we are still obsessed to just ourselves. So to me, lack of these foundation and the fundamentals is preventing us from really discovering the true growth that we can achieve with the kind of skills, the kind of the value that we already have. Please note, okay, this is my belief, this is my strong belief. All right. Okay. My strong belief is this. Okay. My strong, belief is that you all have, if you have a few years of experience and you have worked with some good people, see, that's very important. It's not the company name, it's not the brand name of the company that matters. There are, shitty teams in Google, and there are great teams in some of the companies that may not have great reviews. Okay, this is the truth.
It's 6 o'clock.
Okay, this is the truth. So it's the kind of people that you work with that really matters. So if you work with good people, if you have built a few skills, that is that as a foundation is actually sufficient. If you're not letting your insecurities actually speak to you, if you're not letting your fears actually speak to you, your ability to make decisions improve quite a lot. And it's important for you to constantly ask yourself, who is actually speaking? Okay, when you're actually trying to think about something in your mind, is it your second order thinking? Is it your fear? Is it your insecurity? Who is it that's actually speaking to you, and what's it telling you that you will fail in this, you'll fail in this, or you'll fail in this? Now, some of us get really demotivated if our lead or manager says something, what's a negative about us, but look at the impact we are making to ourselves. It's huge impact we are actually making to ourselves. So what I would say is that the reason why people are struggling to make decisions in the testing space is because, one, they are they haven't frequently visited the foundation of testing. So even in a test.ai, the understanding of testing is the reason why Jason Arbon is building test.ai. The understanding of automation of what needs to be done is the reason why Narayan Raman built his tool. Now, I'm not saying you all should become entrepreneurs, you all should actually get out and do something, but what is the impact that you can create? Okay, so now I'm going to ask you this question. What is the tangible impact of the testing that you're doing? What's the tangible impact of the testing that you're doing, or that you have done, so far? You can actually type in the, okay, so Arjun says, betterment of the product. Betterment of the product. Okay, you gotta quantify it. Okay, you gotta quantify it. Okay, can anyone quantify? Okay, quantify. Okay, quantify. Okay. Okay. So please quantify, please put some numbers. Hey, come on, CTC is not just the only number you're chasing. What's the number? What's the quantifiable thing your testing has produced? What's the quantifiable impact? Okay, quality product. Oh, okay. What's it? Quality is very, very subjective. Quality is very subjective. Okay, we all think iPhone is great quality, but there's a lot of bugs in it. The software crashes, hangs, but we are all okay with it because we can live with it, and we paid a lot of price for that. You cannot measure the impact for individual work. It's always a team game. Okay, that's a very good one. What is the number impact you can put for the testing or for your, what's the teamwork? Now, here's a question to some of you who are saying 100% customer happiness. If you did achieve 100% customer happiness, okay, then that certainly means that it was a huge success. 0.5% smile from end user. Oh my gosh. Many testers I know, they don't even interact with end users. They don't even know end users. Reduce the turnaround time for weeks to days among the teams and partners. Okay, fabulous. So somebody said something tangible saying, reduce the turnaround time. Okay, great. Pawan, how much does that save for your company? How much does that save for your company? How much does it save for your company? Yeah, cost. Yeah, cost. Okay, does it save, money? So remember, I had asked you a question. Okay, it gets you a new client. Okay, you got new client because of the testing. Okay, money and time. Okay, here is my question to you. How do you? Okay, same client for other projects. Okay, great. Okay, here's my question to you. How often have you spoken about impact? How often have you spoken about impact? Impact of your work, tangible impact of your work. How often have you focused on? Have you gone to your own management? Have you gone to your own management and said, I want to do this so that this brings 10 new customers. I want to do this so that our profitability jumps from 20% to 25%. I want to do this. Only when you are focused on impact, only when you speak impact, you will then realize that you will then build the clarity, have the clarity to understand what decision you need to take, whether in this job, whether in the next job, and all of that stuff. And when you go for an interview to an organization, okay, I have not come across a single tester ask me so far, what is the impact this role has to create? That question is a big missing question for a lot of us. What is the impact? What is the impact that you are creating? And here is what I would say. I would say that going forward, I would like you to focus on that impact. Talk about that impact. And work towards the impact, and then decide which tool, which technology, which process, which thought process is required to achieve that impact that you want to create. If you are not going to know what the impact you're creating, then you don't even know what you're doing, and then you're just looking at getting lucky with any of the decisions of the career that you're making. So it's very, very important. And once you know, and once you put the price to that, okay, for example, some of you have said, hey, let's say I saved 3 customers from going away to a competitor. Okay, fabulous. If the cost of saving those 3 customers was $5 million, how much money would you ask for? And how much did you ask for? For me, the biggest problem is not that. For me, the thing is this. I want you all to ask for much more money. Buy looking at impact, I want you all to also focus on the culture. I also want you all to focus on experience. And I think if you have a very shallow understanding of all of these words that you already know, then you're gonna just make decisions to just try to get lucky. But it's very, very important for you to ask those fundamental questions about impact, about experience, about culture, and go dig deeper and say, okay, what if I fail in this? What's how do I recover from this? What is it that I need to focus on, and stuff like that. So with that, I would like to move on from a heavy monologue to taking some questions from you all. And before I take questions, I'd like you all, to those who are in the Zoom, to tell me, like, what's one thing you're going to do after this webinar? Like, one thing you're going to do which you have not done so far. What's one thing you're going to do? Okay, forget about management, forget about everything else. What is it that you are going to do? What is it that you are going to do that you've not done before, to think about creating impact? You can go ahead and type. People are typing long sentences. Inspire others to think about creating impact and value. Okay, Brajesh, yes, I think it's important for you through your channel to continuously talk about impact, and I'd like you to ask deeper questions to people about impact, and ask them to quantify impact, and don't let people these shallow words of quality and things like that, because everybody uses the word, and different people mean different things with it. So it's very important to put a tangible things to it and say, this is the impact I'm creating. I want to bring down the churn of our customers from 20% to 10%. That's a beautiful tangible impact, and such people will absolutely achieve the escape velocity. Such people will know what kind of companies do suit them, what kind of what's a culture to actually pick, and what kind of what's a teammates to select. So try to talk to my manager about what I can do to bring some more impact. Okay, fabulous, Roopsha. Okay, I wish you for that. I wish you the best. First, to know how much impact I'm creating. Yes, that's very important. You need to know how much impact you're creating. And here is an important thing. When you go talk to your team, your managers, your leads about the impact you're creating, the most important thing to tell them is, look, today I'm in a state where I can take any feedback and I won't get emotional, personal. So you can give me brutally honest feedback. Only then people open up and give you. Otherwise, they're being nice to you and they're not telling you what impact you are creating or not creating. So it's absolutely important. And you ask them very specific questions. Put a number on the table, put a number on the table, put a number on the table. Okay. And then influencing at the org level, yes, very important. I will think from a business point of view of how much impact I will create in the certain role. Absolutely, Anuradha. See, Anuradha, it's very important that we all are not trying to become someone. So I know a lot of testers have this obsession. I want to become, I want to move from manual to automation. Within automation, I want to move from writing scripts to to doing what's a framework. None of that. There are people who are paid, who are valued. When I'll not use the word paid, valued much lesser, although they are building frameworks. There are people who are valued very high, although they are doing manual testing or whatever kind of a testing. And okay, Brijesh, I'm sorry, I'm just using using the word manual testing for the sake of a general understanding. And I'm just clarifying that in your presence, sir. I'm sorry and apologize to you for that. But I'm saying that that's essentially what people are trying to think, and about the value part of it, right? So I think from a business point of view, okay, absolutely, Anuradha, and I'd like you to ask people to think and quantify what's the business value you're bringing. Please understand, each one of you are already in business. It is the business that is giving you this job, this money, this this career, this growth, and all of that stuff. Testing as a profession was born because of business. Testing as a profession was not born because we all were passionate about testing and they wanted to create a new role for us. Okay. So essentially, okay, that's an important aspect of it. Okay. So sorry to ask this question, but I'm eager to know, is Moolya giving that flexibility to the employee for asking the pay based on the impact that they are creating? Okay. Oh, here's what I would say. To all those people who have come and said, I want to create that impact, they have first been put in that role. For example, Amit Vyas, who is in this call, wanted to create that impact, and he moved from being a tester to a lead to a salesperson to now he's doing a fulfillment. He's the head of recruitment, and the impact that he's creating is that he is bringing hundreds of testers to our company. So that's the impact that he wanted to create, and so yeah, okay, that's one person, and there are a few people like that, and I wish there are more people who come and ask me, okay, Pradeep, what impact am I creating? What impact can I create? And I absolutely want to build that platform for all of these folks. So yes, coming out in public and saying this means that I am I really want to do this. Okay, but at the same time, let's say Akash, if I go and tell them, you create impact, you do this, this is the impact you have to create, it will not work. It has to come from them. So to all those who come and ask those impact questions, only then, okay, this can be given. Just because something is available, for example, if Apple produces extra 10,000 phones, they don't give it away for free. They still wait for people to buy. Okay, like that. Okay, this opportunity is there not just in Moolya, it is there in a lot of organizations. It's just that people have not asked.
6:15.
It's just that people have not bothered to go deeper on that. Okay, so it's time for us to switch to some questions. So let's go to questions. Okay, do you have any questions? And I really love the question that Akash asked. Okay, Akash, really appreciate the question that you asked. Any questions that you have? Okay, Yoga Sundar says, when I fail, I gotta feel that all good work done so far. All good work done. So no, it's not. Oh no, it's not. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Okay, it's not true. See, Yoga Sundar. See, if you take an example of Shah Rukh Khan, I'm just taking as an example. Okay, some movies click, some movies flop. So when a movie flop, okay, if Shah Rukh Khan assumes that, oh my God, all my stardom is gone, then he's not going to do the second, the next movie very confidently. Is to say, okay, so this is what failed, I'm okay with it, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to do much better than that, is exactly how we need to do. And yes, Shah Rukh Khan is Shah Rukh Khan because of the impact he has created, the number of lives he has touched. So any successful people, the secret, I am just trying to make it very simple for you, saying that we don't know what we really mean by success many times. Okay, success is about creating that impact. And if testing is your life, then you need to create that good impact in the testing. If testing is not what you want to do, then you need to get out of testing, save testing, okay, for all of us, and then go do what you want to do, but create that impact. Okay, so another question that's coming is, automation is dependent on requirements of user, but if there is a different use case, how can we say we automated testing? Well, I think automation is dependent on what is built. The requirement can be something else, but automation is not necessarily something to find bugs. Okay, automation does consistency checks. It does not. No company uses automation to find bugs. They use automation to find regression issues. They use automation to find consistency issues. So that's what my response to that would be. Okay, how will you reach goal? What steps you follow? That's a very abstract question. I'm not knowing how to answer that. If you can make it very specific, Vinod, I'll be happy to answer that. Okay, how much we can afford to fail? Okay, can you quantify? Absolutely. Okay, Pradeep asked a beautiful question. Pradeep, Pradeep asked this, Pradeep, can you quantify? Absolutely. Okay, let me tell you this. So we all have, so what we have, we can only fail with what we have, right? Okay, for example, okay, if you don't know to drive a car, okay, and if you go and hit a tree, right? Which can happen to a lot of people, even who know to drive a car, right? Okay, so the thing is that, so what's the failure there? Okay, the failure is that there is a financial, okay, bearing. Okay, second thing, there could be physical health bearing, okay, that can happen. Now, if you look at us as like we testers, right? Okay, look at the people in armed forces. The armed forces, they risk their life, to save us. They don't consider getting shot by a terrorist as a failure. It's what they signed up to. But for us here, we will absolutely be alive here. If you lose a job, if you're fired from a job, it does not mean it's the end of the world. There are thousands and millions of companies out there with the need for a tester, so you can always get there. So we have an emotional hangama about failures in our life, and we get into that bottle and we don't try to come out of it. So I think in terms of quantifying, right, what I would do is, there is an emotional failure, there is a financial failure, there is a health failure. And here, what I've done is I've faced all of these things. I've had financial losses in crores, okay, sometimes. And what I've done is to understand that, hey, this is how we will learn in the business, and that's the reason why we have been able to scale and succeed in all of that stuff. So financial is an easy thing to quantify, but okay, in terms of my health, it is harder to quantify. Okay, how much I have lost. Maybe you can see some of the gray hair, which is primarily because I took an extra stress where I didn't need to take a stress, and all I needed to do was to just ignore one email from somebody, right? So there is a lot of emotional stress. So not all of these things can be quantified. Those things that can be quantified, okay, should be quantified. Those things that cannot be quantified should not be quantified. Okay, so going to more questions. Okay, going back to the discussion on choosing the other job offer. So I've seen people using this only opportunity to negotiate and seek a counter offer from current or other employees. How fair is this in your opinion? Well, see, so to me, it's this. Why do you think the new company is giving a hike more than the existing company is giving? Well, let me ask this question to all of you. Okay, why do you think even Google, no? Some people move from Google to Meta, and Meta gives them an X money, and Google may not be willing to match that offer from Meta. Why? Okay, because they have a pattern about how we're working, company buyer experience, known devil versus unknown angel. Okay, yes. Okay, Giriraj said impact. For a new company, they are desperate to create that impact. Your existing company might have seen that, okay, there is a certain impact that this person brings in, and we are already paying the top dollar for this impact, and this impact beyond this, okay, pay range does not necessarily justify. But again, what is the blind side of all of these negotiation is this. So today somebody gets 100% jump. Now, then it comes to their mind that every time I jump, I get more money. How many jumps can you actually do in life? And this continuous jumping makes somebody a kangaroo, okay, and does not make somebody a growth in career. Okay, now for example, okay, let's say, somebody had, somebody gets a crore, package. How do they go to a 2 crore package? Okay, just because they moved from one job to another job? No way, right? It has to go back to the impact. And for those who create that impact, as long as the company is growing, they can get the top dollar from the company itself. So it's very important, that's the reason why I said, to get out of this trap from what the common world, the common janta is doing, is that we all focus towards the impact, part of it. So my opinion, okay, since you asked about my opinion, okay, my opinion is this, okay, that there is an opportunity that many people are using right now, which is fair. I'm not saying you should not use, but it is not a growth, strategy. It's not a long-term strategy. What works in the short term is what many people do. So if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you are going to land into the same place that they are going to land, 5 years from now. Neither do they know where they are going to be 5 years from now, nor do you know where they are going to be 5 years from now. Okay, and that's essentially, okay, what happens. So moving on to other, question, client side have only specific, budget for a particular role. Okay, that's not a question though, but what other questions are there? Might be out of scope. Is there any plans to expand Moolya across different places in India, like Hyderabad? Hey, right now Moolya is everywhere. So there's no limitation on that front. Any other question? Any other question that's there? How will you reach goals? What steps you follow? That is answered. How much we afford to fail? Okay, quantify. Great. Okay. So while we do come to the closure of this, I'm happy that the one word that you will all take away is the word impact, and you will go and ask yourself and ask your team, ask your managers, ask whoever, and find out what is the real tangible impact you're bringing to the organization, and how can you multiply that impact, to the organization, or build skills to create a certain impact and find a way to multiply that. That is the fundamental and of this particular what's a webinar. Okay, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate you taking off time and participating in this webinar. It's a great pleasure for me to interact with many of you, and I wish you the best, and I want you all to create an impact in this world through your work, and that will drive everything else. But please get it very, very tangible of what is the impact that you're creating, and that's the most important aspect of it. Okay, thank you very much, and I will see you all in the next webinar. I'm going to be doing webinars every month end. So if you are keen, if you think this is useful, you can come over and we will chat and we will enjoy, and you can suggest some topics and everything as well. So with that, I'm going to take leave, and thanks to my fellow Moolyans for setting this up, and my best wishes to you all. And I hope we get to work together in the future. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye. Bye.